Hello, this is Charlie Belfontaine. With me, off to my right, is Marc Rosenfeld. He's one of the sales reps for RadonEye Pro, which is owned by a company called EcoSense. And Marc, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about you. Just to be clear, Marc is a vendor of the Illinois Association of Home Inspectors. They came on about a week ago, so you're going to start seeing their posts in their Facebook groups. And then we're going to be getting our emails out, and they're going to be into that as well. All right. Marc, please tell us about you.
All right. Good morning. Thank you, Charlie, for having us. I'm Marc Rosenfeld. I'm the sales director of EcoSense. And what I focus on, we have consumer products. I'll talk a little bit about who we are and what we do. But we have consumer products, and we also have the professional CRM, which I'm going to be focusing on today. And that's what I focus on. So, spend about 95% of my time on that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about who EcoSense is, and a little bit of a history. Talk about the Pro in detail because obviously that's the focus for the inspector market. Some of the features and benefits. Also, as we have talked about many times, we'll cover just real briefly the Illinois regulations, which are different than 48 other states in the country in terms of calibration and such. And then we'll go over some special pricing that we have for your members. We'll, again, go into a kind of a deep dive on the Pro, and we'll compare it just briefly with the Sun Radon products, the Corinthian Pro, and then the Radolink professional models. And again, not in too much detail, but just to kind of go through some of the differences. And then we'll also talk a little bit about how to create a new revenue stream with EcoSense long-term continuous monitors. A lot of vendors that we've talked to around the country have been doing this, and it's I'm not going to get your members rich, Charlie, but we do have a way through a referral program that we can do that. And then we'll just kind of go over why EcoSense, and then we'll do some questions and answers. And as I mentioned, I'm happy to kind of break this up with any questions you have. In the middle. Don't wait for me to finish. All right.
Sounds good. Yeah, I like the product and the size of everything, and the travel. I don't know what the right word is. Travelability. And I'm talking about the cases that it comes in and how easy it is to put everything together and bring it to where you want to go. So for that part, I'm pretty impressed.
How's that portability?
Portability. Thank you very much.
Right. It's really the size. I'm going to come over here and show you. If you can see that, it's the size of like a big soda can. So it's very and as I'll show you, it comes with a case and nice padded case, and it's all nice setup. So let me just start off, Charlie, with just a little bit about EcoSense. We're pretty new in the market. We were founded in July of 2019. We are a technology company headquartered here in the heart of Silicon Valley. We're in San Jose. We are solely dedicated to radon detection and monitoring. I know a lot of the competitors that we work against are really looking at all indoor air quality. We are solely focused on radon detection and monitoring. We've got some U.S. patented radon detection technology, which I'm not going to get into too much detail because I am not an engineer, and I'm sure most of your members are not. They know a lot about houses, but the technology is patented. And because we're here in Silicon Valley, we've got advanced software solutions development, the likes of nobody in the industry. I mean, we have a few guys who work for us full-time in engineering and a couple of part-timers. One of them is a VP at Google. Another one works for NVIDIA. So these are some of the really top software guys in the Valley here, and they're doing a lot of work with us. And our key values in terms of our sensor and the performance, all of our units, whether it's professional or consumer, do have the highest sensitivity in the industry, 30 counts per hour, which is about 15 times more sensitive. That's counts of radon. Than the ARST minimum, which is the guideline is 2 CPH. And what that really does, as we'll talk about a little bit more, is it just gives you a more accurate monitoring. And again, fast, reliable, accurate results, and feature-rich software applications, both on the smartphone and on the web dashboard.
And this Can we go back to that real quick? When you're saying
Yeah.
30 counts per hour, does that mean it actually, like, every 2 minutes it takes readings?
Well, what it actually it takes a reading. It takes a reading every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes it does a full reading, but that'll be actually published, every 10 minutes. But it is doing 30 counts per hour at 1 PCIL. So it's doing it. So every 10 minutes it'll take a reading, and then at the end, each hour it'll give you the average. If you're doing the reading, it's the average of those readings.
Gotcha. All right.
And these are just some of our, we're affiliated with members of ARST, Internashi, ASHI, KARST in Canada. Some of our locals, besides being involved with you guys, we're in Midwest ARST, Rocky Mountain ARST chapter, and the Wisconsin Association of Home Inspectors. And we're actually looking at a few more, in local chapters. One of the issues, Charlie, we're having with the local chapters is during the pandemic, we could do webinars with everybody, kind of like this. Now it's at the Marie Callender's, on Main Street in whatever town. So a lot of the, and I know a lot of the groups is sort of like, it's a social gathering as well. So, we appreciate the opportunity here, but a lot of the local groups, it's more just a local get together. So
yeah, our state is a little bit too big right now to be getting everyone together. We're hoping to maybe put something on in the future. So it'll be like a weekend event, and that might be worth you coming on out and visiting us.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few. We're a small company, we're a startup, so we're doing some. We're doing ARST events and some of the major ones, live now. But it's changed. Last year we did everything we could, but now that it's not all internet based, we have to be a little more choosy. So,
that's true.
But you know what? This is great. At first, I think none of us liked it, and nobody likes to just sit in there, in their back room. But it has been a good way to get out to people. And during the pandemic, because the real estate industry was considered in every state pretty much essential, everybody was working. So we really lost very little time here in the U.S. So Canada, we lost a lot of time because they were closed down for about 5 months. But
oh boy!
Anyway, yeah, and they're still not out of it completely. They've got much tighter lockdown, and they also don't have as much vaccine capability. So a lot of the guys we're working with there are still really, really, kind of struggling. But anyway. As far as this is just a real quick kind of overview of the EcoSense product line. The initial product was the RadonEye, which is a consumer model, but it uses the same core. All of our units use the same sensor, and that was released in 2016 by a company called FT Lab. It's manufactured in Korea, and we started here in the U.S. in 2019. So we are the exclusive resellers in North America. So the Pro came out based on the same model in 2019. Second generation sensor, which is same guts but a little smaller, came out last year. And at the end of last year, we released a product for the consumer market called the EcoCube. And I'll talk a little bit about that. That actually won an award at the Consumer Electronics Show for the design. And then later this year, we're coming out with a product aimed at the mitigator market using the RadonEyes. It's basically a product set up to do sort of what they call a sniffing, for hotspots on a site, either pre or post mitigation. But we won't talk about that here because you guys are not mitigators and it's not out yet. But this just wanted to give you an idea of where we come from. So the products have been out for now about 5 years.
It does say a lot, though, that you're constantly creating new products. You're constantly improving your products. So it's not like you just made something and say, okay, let's go see what we could sell. You're actually trying to improve on everything.
No, and that's actually it. That's why I mentioned right away up front, we mentioned the Silicon Valley and the software development. The products are manufactured in Korea, but we actually are doing the software. We just did a huge software update on the RadonEye Pro for the dashboard, which I'll talk about a little bit. The EcoCube was designed 100%. It's the software by EcoSense. So it's sort of a partnership we have now with the Korean company FT Lab. So, but let's talk about how inspectors, Charlie, can build their radon business with EcoSense. I mean, that's kind of the whole reason to be here with our RadonEye Pro. First thing first, we're of course NRPP and NRSB certified, and I mentioned the 30 CPH instrumentation. We are Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled for maximum connectivity, and we'll talk a little bit more about. You had asked me this morning about the Wi-Fi, and we'll talk about what you can and can't do with the Wi-Fi capability. And here's something that the inspectors that we work with and measurement professionals really, really love. It's the easy report capability from the iOS and Android app or from the web dashboard. As we'll go through it, you can on site after the test is done, you can within minutes set up, customize, and send out a report to your client right from your phone or your tablet, or a lot of people like to do that from home, from a laptop. I have old eyes, so I much prefer doing it on a laptop or a desktop. So you can do the both. But if you need to get it done quick, it's easily done, and it's very affordable. We're offering special pricing for your members, but in general, even at our list price, we're considerably less than some of our competitors with more features. As I showed you before, it's a small product, the eye, so it's easy to get around. It comes with a padded case. Also comes with a tripod holder, not a tripod itself. People see tripod and then they'll call me and say, "Hey, where's the tripod?" But it comes with a tripod holder so you can connect to it. 12-volt power connector, then an extension cable, a step-up cable, and then a battery pouch that you can hang on the bottom of a tripod. And we'll go through different options for powering it up.
In that case, you could comfortably fit three of these RadonEye Pros.
You can fit three. You know what? Actually, if you adjust it, you can actually fit four of them in there, because we're going to be doing that mitigator product I showed you, the Eco Tracker.
Yeah.
It's a pack of four of the RadonEyes, which are specially done, specially set up, for the sniffing, to look for hot spots, and we fit four of them in there.
Wow.
Yeah. So with the Pro, the thing that people like about it, and you mentioned this, it's very easy to use and get started. I mean, basically, you download the iOS or Android app, on the Apple Store or Google Play, plug it in. When you plug it in, it'll flash green and red, and it'll start to initialize. Everything is on a really easy to use LED display, which can be turned off. And most inspectors ask me that right away. You don't want your clients, most of them don't want the clients to see, because if in the middle of the 48-hour test, they see, a level of 6 or 7, then they freak out. But as everybody who does any radon testing knows, it fluctuates, the level. So you can be at 6 now, 2 hours later, it can be at under 4. So you can easily turn that off, but it's nice when you get started. And then the unit will basically show you it's ready to go. And then you can run the inspection. I've got a little thing here. If that works, there you go. And it'll just kind of take you through. You can create an account. You can add a new device via Bluetooth. New inspection, everything is done through your phone. So you can set the wait time. You can set it up on Wi-Fi if you want. You don't need to have Wi-Fi for it to work. You can easily just set it up, use Bluetooth, come back, and I'll go through why, what the advantages of having Wi-Fi is. But this just kind of takes you through. It's really easy steps. You can set the wait time. You can set, if you're in Canada, you can change it from picocuries to becquerels and the temperature. So it's all pretty much right there on your smartphone. And then you can view the results. So you can either save the report for later, or you can generate a report, and you can save the data for later and then generate a report right there on site. And you can add a new client, add a company logo, you can add comments and notes, and site pictures, floor plans, and then you can share that right there with your clients. So this is the feedback we've got on this from our clients in the field. They really love it, because you don't have to wait for reports to come back. A lot of the guys we work with, Charlie, used to do charcoal, the charcoal kids. And then
I used to do those.
So you got to send it into a lab, and it could be 3 to 5 days. I've heard even longer sometimes, depending on where you send it. But at the end of the end of your inspection, you can generate the report right from the phone, and within minutes, you've got a report to send out. In 49 of the 50 states, you can do that. If you think you guys have some strange rules, in New Jersey, the inspector is not allowed to send it directly to the client. They have to send it through a third-party lab to verify it. So anytime you think that Illinois has got a tough deal, be happy you're not in Jersey.
There's always somebody worse, isn't there?
It really is. And there's a lot of states. Actually, some of the higher end, the higher states in terms of radon, obviously it's a bigger deal. Like Ohio has got some funky regulations. Pennsylvania, it's just it's really strange. And then you go out west to Colorado, which has got a very high level. It's the Wild West out there. There's virtually no regulations at all. Anybody can do it, and you can use any machine you'd like. So it's kind of strange. Anyway, getting back to the report. Here's some sample of what it looks like. And again, you can put your logo in there. And once the logo's uploaded, you don't have to do it every time. So, you upload your logo. It's got all of the information, the test is performed, for what the device, which device it is, what the timing is, how long the test was for, where it was, and then of course the inspector information. If you need to put licensing information in there, there's a spot for that, your address and all your contact information. Then there's a page for the measurement environment, and we recently, based on feedback that we got from inspectors in the field, we recently upgraded that. It used to be 100 characters, which if you type out 100 characters, it's not very much. So we've upgraded that to 1,000 characters of text. So you can really get into some details here, and you can also then upload a picture, which can be changed every time. Or if you don't want to use the picture, that's fine. If you don't want to even use the measurement environment page, if you don't use the page, it's eliminated from the report, so you don't have an empty page. So that's one page. Then you've got the page with a graph, when the test started, ended, the radon concentration level, the overall average, and we've also got the EPA Protocol Average, and that eliminates the first 4 hours of the test. And to go by the EPA guidelines. This is something that we've gone back and forth on, Charlie. Some states require it, some states don't. So we have been asked, can you eliminate that? But this is an industry where, since there's so many regulations, in state by state, we've tried to be as accommodating as we can to every state. I do have some guys who, if they want to eliminate that, just use a PDF editor and just white it out.
Okay.
Charlie, in Illinois, is that a necessity to have EPA protocol average on there?
I don't believe it is, all right? But I also have to throw a disclaimer out there. I am not the radon professional. I've taken the classes and stuff like that, but I've never gotten any sort of license. So we do have a few members here, and they will type on there what it is, and I'll be thankful for that. But I don't believe that that has to be on there, but I know most people do. So. Okay.
All right. Well, that's why it's on there. Originally it wasn't, and then we had some states that couldn't use it. So the next page is a comment page, and the same thing there. We originally had 100. It was 100 characters, and that was not nearly enough. And so we've added that, we've changed that to 1,000 characters. So you can really put some details in there. And then there's also an area for you to upload a picture or an image file. And this page, I've got a sample of an image file. A lot of inspectors and testers like to put some information about what radon is, what the health risks are. So you can upload that, and you can leave that on if you'd like. So once you've uploaded it, kind of like the logo, it's there. If you want to change it, you just can change it on a test by test basis. Some people will put something in there if it's below 4.0. If it's above, then they'll put a different, different sort of canned, blurb in there. Any way you want to use that, and I'll show you on the next page here. There's only one comment page, but I just wanted to show the same page with you can put a picture as well. So altogether, the report is 5 pages. The comments, the measurement, and then the last page is a table of the hourly measurements. So it's a timestamp, and it'll actually give you hour by hour readings. And we recently added the temperature and the relative humidity as well.
Nice.
Because yeah.
No, I know here in Illinois we have to put a floor plan in there. Where's the sump pump? Where's the furnace? Where's the radon device, monitoring device located at? So that floor plan of the basement has to be in there. I know that a lot of radon testers will take a picture of the readout from the machines, and then they'll put that picture in there. So I do believe this has to be in there. But I like it. I like everything clean, neat, easy to read. That's what I like about this.
Yeah, and everything you need to put in there is there. And again, that came from feedback from inspectors. So what I'm saying here to you and to your inspectors, if you've got something in there, something that you don't see or that you want, please tell us, because we have, we've had literally hundreds of different, inputs and feature requests. And we have, since I've been here about 15 months now, we have added a whole range of things. The report looked nothing like this. It was a quick 3-page report when I started, and we've really upgraded it to make it work for the inspectors out in the field. So any feedback that we get from you and your guys, your members, please let us know. But one thing I wanted to mention also is it does have the ability, if somebody moves it, if somebody, if it opens up the window, sometimes people accidentally will do it. And sometimes we've had, real estate agents will move it, or because they don't want to have a high reading. So it'll actually tell you, when you finish the test, it'll give you a warning sign. You click on it, and it'll actually show you exactly what time and what happened, whether it was vibration, or here in California, if we have an earthquake, anything, it'll tell you exactly when, or if a power outage came. And I mentioned this to you before, Charlie, if there is a power outage, the machine will stop, because it is, an AC. You can get a backup. We've done some testing on power, universal power supplies, UPSs, and batteries that you can use, and a lot of our regular clients do use a battery backup. But if you don't, if the power goes off, when it goes back on, it'll pick up from the exact time that it went off. And if you're running a 48-hour test, let's say you lose an hour, 2 hours, it'll complete the full test. So
I like that.
You'll get the full 48 hours. I've had inspectors call me and say, hey, I put it at noon 2 days ago. I'm here at noon, and there's 2 hours left. Why? And I'll say, well, because sometime during that 2 days, someone must have turned out the lights. Sometimes I'll put it in a plug where there's the wall switch will turn it off accidentally, or something will happen. So just want to let you know that it will complete the test.
Terrific.
And last but not least, on the report side, after each inspection, you will get a data log, which will contain all the information, no pretty pictures, but just a data log with all the information, the device, the serial number, the calibration, the radon averages, the hourly timestamps, the temperature and humidity. So that's all there. And I do have a lot of vendors who like to, a lot of our users like to use that. Some of them will actually cut and paste this into a bigger report because they do their own customized report. So it gives you the data right there. And that's all available on the app.
I know our professional licensees here in Illinois, they have to submit something, some sort of report of all their readings to the state of Illinois, and I don't know if they do that every year or every month or what it does, but I know they have to submit something.
No, I have a bunch of inspectors in Ohio, and as I said, they've got I think what you'd call Byzantine rules. I mean, it's I can't follow it, but one of the things that they do, they use that data log for that purpose, and they'll send it in. I don't know if it's monthly or quarterly. They have to send them, the results, and so that's a good way to do it because you don't need to send them the pictures and the pretty, the pretty report. So that works out really well. The web dashboard. This is this is used for several reasons. We just, as I said, in May, we did a huge upgrade on this to really, for bigger companies who have multiple units, multiple inspectors. It was a little bit difficult at first, and I think we talked about that to manage the flow, and it really wasn't designed that way. So we've done a big upgrade as far as the admin capabilities for smaller inspectors, which most of our inspectors, are from companies with 1 to 3 to 4, inspectors. It's not as big a deal, although there are a lot of features on here that you could use. But you can easily manage multiple inspectors, multiple devices with the admin capabilities. But basically, with this, you can monitor. I'm going to show you after we finish this, just kind of go through the dashboard live just to show you how it works. But you can do all your monitoring if you're on Wi-Fi, and this is what you and I were talking about this morning a little bit. If you're on Wi-Fi at the site, which I know a lot of times, if you're in a client's home, you're not always going to, tap into their Wi-Fi. A lot of inspectors will bring a hotspot. We set it up with hotspots for each one. And the reason for that is that you can monitor the inspection while it's going on. So you can see if there's any issues. You can, so you have a good idea of what's happening with that inspection. And if you have a stable Wi-Fi connection during the course of the whole 48-hour test, you can download the data from the dashboard. So if you have an admin or somebody in the office who can do this while the inspector's out in the field finishes the test or doesn't get around to getting it, picking up the device, they can download the device and do a report. So, but one thing we had talked about this morning, Charlie, is that that's the only function is monitoring and getting a report. If you're connected and you have a stable connection through the 48 hours, you can control the unit. I just want to be clear on that. You can't stop it, start it from remote.
No, that's a good thing to add on. So you still have to physically be there, press the start button on the machine.
Yeah, you do. You have to start. You do. And typically, if you're not connected to Wi-Fi, you go back on site. When the test is finished, you have to hit. There's a button that's called confirm right on the on the app. Connect with Bluetooth, confirm. It uploads the data to the phone. Once the data is uploaded to the phone, as long as you have a cellular connection, it doesn't have to be Wi-Fi, the data will upload automatically to the cloud. So you can access it through RadonEyePro.com. So all the data will be there, all the reports, even if you've done the report, generated it through the phone, it will be uploaded to the dashboard. So that's kind of like your control center. And as I say, if bigger companies are really getting into it now because we've made the admin capabilities easier. But even smaller 1 and 2 person inspection firms, it's nice to have all that data there. You can generate the report right from the dashboard. As I said, it's easier for me because I have fat fingers and old eyes, so it's much easier to do it through the through the dashboard. And you can also, if one inspector goes out and a second one can pick it up, or a lot of companies have what they call radon runners, who just run around and pick up. Some of the bigger clients, do that. The bigger companies, you can transfer authority, add inspectors, all through the dashboard.
Nice.
And I think, Charlie, I was going to show the dashboard live. Would it be a good time to do it now, or should I just
Sure,
finish and show it
please.
off?
Yeah.
Okay. I can stop sharing, get to here, and then we'll share again. And can you guys see that?
Not yet, they can't, but now they will. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I am now a eCam live expert.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'll just go through this. I'll go through this quickly. So along the side here, you've got monitoring status. You've got your devices. I've got 3 of them here in my office. And I'm actually running one because I wanted to show you that if you click on this, you can see where we are in terms of, we don't have hardly any radon here in California, so I'm at 0.19, but it tells you the status. I've done 12 out of 24 hours in the inspection, and it gives you a little chart. You can go through that. It gives you a little GPS, excuse me, as to where you are, and you can track your units that way. And then, it gives you the maximum and the average. So that's, if you're doing the monitoring right there, and that's during a live inspection.
I like that.
Come back to that. All your radon reports are here. So as I said, even the ones that you've done on your phone or on a tablet will be here. So you can store those and you can name those. So you can keep track by client, by inspector, by date, by the start and end time, and then you can actually view the reports on the screen. And then as far as your data, you have all your inspection data is right there. And if I go to, this will show you all the tests you have, and you can rename those. The default name for the tests are the serial number, but you can name those the Smith family, or however you'd like to do it, that works for your company. You can name those, and it'll give you the dates that the date that the test started. So if you want to go through that, let's see, pick one here and click on that. Let me just do this. A little more. All right. So now you can see that, and then you can basically just click on the report. I'm not going to go through the whole report, but you can click on the report, and then you can run through. If you don't do it on your phone, you can run through there. And once your logo's up there, you can see my logo is in there. You pick your client name, the measurement times, and then you can go through and you can do your measurement environments, drop your files right here to upload the pictures. It'll give you the concentration, the levels, and then you go through to the comments, drop the picture there. It'll go through the hourly, and then you can basically do a preview. And then once you finish the preview, choose the client. You got to pick the client name, say me. And then once you do the preview, it'll go through, and then you can either save it, or if you want to cancel or redo it, you can do so. So that's the process to do the test. And then as far as management, you can manage your devices, register devices, users. So you can add new users right here on the website. If you got new inspectors, you can manage your clients and your settings. So went through that quickly, but I just wanted to show you that it has a lot of features, and it's easy to use, and all the data is uploaded for you as soon as you finish that test. unless you're out in Timbuktu somewhere. But even then, once you get to a place where you have a cell signal, it'll automatically be uploaded. And one of the questions that comes up, Charlie, is there a cost for the web, the storage? There isn't. So there's no extra charges except for the unit itself.
Yes.
Okay, let's get back to this. Tell me when you can see it.
I can see you.
Okay. All right. The calibration issue. We'll go through this quickly. As you and I'm sure your inspectors, your members know, in the state of Illinois, and I think Pennsylvania is another one, professional CRMs like the Pro must have their initial calibration done by a state of Illinois licensed radon lab. Our calibration, the initial calibration, is done right now in Korea by the manufacturer, and that's good, good to go in 48 states. It's not in Illinois, and it took us a little while to get to the point, but we've actually, working with Patrick Daniel and his office, we've got all the details down, and we've actually contracted with Bowser Mourner in Ohio, which is, I think, the biggest radon lab in the U.S., and also Kansas State University Radon Lab to do the initial calibrations for us. They also do annual calibrations because, as with all CRMs like this, there is a there is a requirement to do an annual. So they'll do that. They do performance tests. Anything else you need, they'll do. But Bowser and KSU, it's around $130, $135 each. To offset some of the cost of that, because we want your members to get a little bit of a break because they have to pay a little bit more. We are offering special pricing for your members. The list price on our unit is $795, and so we're offering special price $715.50, so about $80, $75.50 off for each. If somebody's looking for multiple units, we do have multiple unit discounts as well. And there's a promo code for that, and you order it on our website. So I'll give you all that, Charlie, so you can pass that along to the members.
Please, and thank you. Going back to that, though, so just to be clear, if I buy a radon monitor from you, you ship the radon monitor to me, and then I have to ship it off to one of these two companies, get the calibration done before I can use it in the state of Illinois.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of like in a lot of states, you have to get a what they call a proficiency test when you first use a new unit.
Yeah.
So you send it out to them. Same thing. And we had talked to Bowser and KSU about shipping them units and then having them do it for us and then shipping it out. And the logistics really were difficult. And neither one of these companies, these labs are really designed and set up for that kind of a thing. So we worked this out so that that you can have it sent there, and it is an extra step, but the regulations are the regulations, and we're trying to work around those.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, and you had asked me about do we have some competitive stuff, and obviously Sun Radon, they're newer products. A lot of our inspectors have the older Sun 1027 and 1028s, which I have to say are probably the most durable pieces of equipment ever made, because they've been out there for many years, and we've gotten a lot of companies that have upgraded to us from them, because after a while Sun really doesn't want to keep supporting them, and so a lot of people have after a while. But those are great units. They've been replaced by these 1028 XP and the 1030. So we did a little chart here, and I'm not going to go through every detail. We'll be here all day, but I just wanted to go through some of the details on this. In terms of the radon counting sensitivity, the XP is 2.7 CPH, and whereas we're at 30. So we're 11 times more sensitive, again, more accurate in terms of the results. And let's see, in terms of the Warranty, we have got a year warranty. Theirs is 90 days. They do cover both Android and iOS, and so really in terms of accuracy, we're more accurate. We've got a longer warranty, so your investment is covered longer, and the pricing again is a little bit. Where am I? A little bit lower. I'm gonna move this out of the way here. So
I wouldn't figure that these things can actually break down in that. Do you get a lot of warranty claims?
You know what? We really haven't so far. I mean, I'd say just a handful. We've
Okay,
really
good.
had pretty good. Yeah. I mean, you know what? The unit itself very rarely goes wrong. Sometimes we'll have there'll be a cord. The AC, it doesn't work. Or we've had some here and there, no doubt. More times it's been an issue as we've upgraded software with bugs in the software, and then we'll fix that. So really, we haven't had very many issues in terms of with any of our units in terms of the unit itself.
Nice.
Now the 1030, son, this one is significantly upgraded in terms of sensitivity from 2.7 to 15. So this one is a lot more sensitive, but we're still double that. In terms of accuracy, after 10 hours, our unit will give you what they say 95% confidence, meaning it's 95% accurate after 10 hours. The reading on the Sun 1030 after 1 day, it's about 68%, and that's from their numbers. So you have better accuracy over a shorter period of time. Now, when you're doing a 48-hour test, I don't really focus on that all that much, because really what you want, by the time you get to the 48 hours, it doesn't make all that much difference. What you want to make sure is that the accuracy is there and the sensitivity, and it is. And again, 90-day warranty, and the price, and that one is a little bit higher as well. So that one's $11.95 list price. So you're getting again more features, more accurate, and significantly lower investment. And as you know, Charlie, a lot of the inspectors are smaller companies who don't have huge budgets. So we don't sell our product on price strictly, because we do have features. I think if we were higher price, we would still sell, but we are, because of the way it's manufactured and the arrangement we have with the manufacturer, we are able to offer a good price. So it works both ways, good quality and good pricing.
Yeah, I don't think our inspectors are any different than any other human being in the United States. Everybody kind of wants the biggest bang for the buck, is what it is. They're not afraid to pay, but they want a good product.
Right. Well, but I just wanted to point out that we're not just selling it on price, and because most of the conversations that I have, and I've probably talked to a couple of hundred inspectors around the country in the last 15 months, I would say price comes up after performance, features. Really the report capability is something that really comes up pretty much all the time. Because people want to get in, do the inspection, get out, and be able to get their report to their client and move on.
That's true.
So that's really one of the main things. I'm adding in here the RadonEye Pro versus the RadonLink, because a lot of the smaller, especially startups or guys who haven't been in business too long and don't have a big customer base for Radon, they will go with a rental, and they'll ask us all the time if we're doing a rental program. We've looked at it, but we really don't. There's a lot of moving parts to it, and honestly, we're not that big of a company, and we've looked at it, and it just doesn't seem to make sense for us. But what we have found is that they have a very good product. It's almost exactly the same in terms of the sensitivity. They don't have a display, but again, that's not a huge thing. They don't support iPhone.
That is a huge thing.
That's a huge thing. They don't support iPhone. It is Bluetooth, but here's the big thing for your inspectors, Charlie, is the cost. If they rent these by the month for quantity 1 through 4, it's $165 a month.
Each, right?
Each, right. So you're looking at huge outlay. It's kind of like, I don't know if you got those Aaron's furniture places, you can get a TV, when you're starting out, you got a couch and you pay $70 a month, and by the time you finish, a $200 couch, you paid $1,200 for it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like this is, it does include the calibration because you're renting it, so they will swap it out. But the calibration is about $135 to $150 a year. You're paying extremely higher rates than any other products out there for the ability to pay monthly for the RadonLink. So it's a very good unit. Very positive feedback I've got from inspectors who use it, but inevitably they move on once they realize, or once they've got enough of a customer base that they can go with something like ours or any of the ones that you can purchase and own. And the last one we're looking at is the Corinthian Pro, which you had mentioned this morning. In terms of the radon counting sensitivity, it is about 8 times higher. In terms of the confidence level, again, ours is after 10 hours, you're at about 95% accuracy. There, after a day, it's about 68%. And again, that's not going to make a whole big deal when you're doing a test like this. So really, what you want to, what you're looking at here is there is no alarm or display, but really it comes down to cost. As again here, their list price is $12.99, and I know from talking to a lot of our current customers who are, a lot of them are using Corinthian or have used it. They've been discounting lately, so we're down to $9.99. I've even heard it might be promotions going around the $8.99 level. So I wanted to be honest about that and put that in there because it's not $7.15 right now against $12.99. I don't know how long that's going to last, but they are competing with us. I think we've taken a good chunk of the market in the last year. We went from nothing really about 15 months ago, and now we've got probably an 8 to 10% of the marketplace. So we've really kind of taken a chunk, and they've been, if we have pricing down a little lower, they have lowered that. But one of the issues also that I've been told from a lot of our inspectors with the Corinthian is availability of units. A couple of times a year, I remember during, I think it was during the fall or earlier this year, they had about 2 months where they had no units. So we got a lot of calls saying, hey, can you get us one quickly? We do typically, if you order it by about 2:30 Pacific time, it'll ship the same day.
Wow.
So far in the 15 months I've been doing this, we haven't run out yet. So, knock on wood, and we try to keep the, we do have a good pipeline coming from Korea, and because of the nature of the calibration, we don't ship them over on a slow boat like we do the consumer models. So we do fly them over. So same day. Worst case, if you order it late in the day or on the weekend, it'll go out the next business morning.
Fantastic. Yeah, I know a lot of people use the Corinthians. I see where guys are getting together and trying to do bulk purchases or whatever to get a cheaper price. They are more expensive. The reports are nice, but same thing with you guys. Your reports are very professional looking. The machines are lightweight, easy. And yeah, I'm impressed.
No, thank you. And we just to kind of go over briefly, why RadonEye Pro, best radon detection sensitivity. We have had some independent third-party validations. We've had some testing done by University of Michigan and Kansas State, and they put it up against some, real high-end, devices, and have found that, hey, of course, it doesn't do the same a $200 device. They use the RadonEye consumer model, which is the same sensor. Of course, at under $200, it's not going to do the same as a $10,000 device. But in terms of performance, it was right up there with them. So very high performance, independently validated, NRPP and NRSB listed. We're starting to get some strong traction among the professional community. As I say, we've really gone from zero to a good chunk of the market in about a year. Very feature rich, easy to use, strong technical support. And this is where we really stand out. and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, but our customer service, we've gotten a lot of kudos for that, Charlie, is that we're fast, responsive. Somebody answers the phone, and usually it's me when it comes to the pro, and we will get back to you 7 days a week. I can't tell you how many times I'm out on a Saturday and somebody, because I know inspectors are doing 7 days a week. A lot of inspectors are doing tests, doing inspections. And if they're out there on site and something goes wrong or they have a question, I'll get back to them, or one of our team will get back to them the same day. So
That's a big deal. When people have problems, they want it fixed. Yeah.
That is, and that's one of the things I've heard about pretty much all of our competitors, especially the bigger brands, is that support for the smaller inspectors who have, maybe you've got 5 units, 2 units, they don't get the same level of support as the big boys do, and we don't do that. We figure that one day the guy with 5 units will grow his company, and next thing you know, he'll have 20, and we've seen that over the last year. So everybody gets the same level of support.
Good.
And this is something, as I mentioned to you before, place your order on our website by 2:30, and it'll usually ship out Monday through Friday the same day. And one thing I wanted to mention is that standard shipping within the U.S. is free. So whatever I quoted you on price there, no extra charge. Unless you want to get it, you need to expedite it. And of course, you'll pay for the second day or overnight. But otherwise, shipping is free.
And the only extra charge is going to be the calibration. It has to be done.
Has to be done, right? That's it. So fast, customer service. Also, product training. We try to make it easy for new inspectors and those grizzled vets out there who know it all to learn how to use and master the pro. It's pretty easy, but I can say that because I've done about 100, tests in the house here and in my office, and I'm much better at it. I remember, Charlie, you and I talked probably 6 or 8 months ago, and I flumpered my way through it, and I've learned, how to use this machine, in my sleep now. So we will do training if you need it. We'll do training for each individual. We do some trainings for staffs, how to get it started, how to use it. So whatever you need to feel comfortable and get this up and running, we will work with you, big company or small.
I love it.
Now, one of the last things I'll talk about here, Charlie, is how to build your radon business kind of with EcoSense consumer monitors to create a new revenue stream. We have been real successful with this. We have a lot of our inspectors who are doing this. We've got the RadonEye is the original model, based the same exact innards, the same sensor as the Pro, and then we've got the EcoCube, which was released in the fall of 2020. That actually won the Consumer Electronic Awards show award for in the health and wellness category for innovative design. So it's a kind of a cool little design. I've got one, but I don't want to get up and go find it in the middle of the presentation. But it's a little tiny box, and these are really aimed at. That's really aimed at the home market. The RadonEye is also a consumer model. The difference is really they both have the same sensor, same sensitivity. They do an upgrade, a measurement update every 10 minutes. Now with the RadonEye, after 10 minutes, you'll have a first reading, which is confidence level about 60%, and then after an hour, it goes up to about 75, 80%. So if you plug it in, what a lot of our inspectors will do, especially in high radon areas, if they don't have a radon test, as part of the inspection, they'll buy one and they'll plug it in at the beginning of the inspection. Well, after an hour or so, you have a really good, idea as to whether or not they've got high ratings, high ratings on the radon level. So they can easily say, hey, look, you're over 4 or you're close to 4. This is just a quick screening. I would suggest that you do a test, and a lot of them will actually have a pro out in the car or out in the truck, and they'll sell it right on site there, or they'll set up to do it later.
I like that a lot.
That's a nice way to do it. And hey, worst case, you plugged it in, didn't cost you anything. There's really no time involved. There's a readout right here on the top that'll tell you what the level is. And there's a little phone app as well. You can actually download that as a text file. So it's just the raw data. So you can do that. And I have a lot of inspectors who've gotten a lot of work that way. So that'll help you there as well. The EcoCube only works on Wi-Fi. So it really doesn't work for that, for this purpose, because you got to connect to the Wi-Fi. So really, for a quick screening at the beginning of a inspection, the RadonEye would work the best. But when we talk about a new revenue stream, we've got a program. Well, here's a little bit more about the EcoCube, but we won't get into that too much. It's just really set up for home use. I talked about the third-party validation by Kansas State, but here the Referral Club. Sign up for the Referral Club, and your inspector will get a unique code that can be used to make purchases. So you get the code, you give it to clients. Let's say you got a reading in the between 3 and 4 or close to 4, and you don't need to recommend mitigation, but you want them to look out for it. A lot of our inspectors sign up for the Referral Club. You give out the code to your client, and you can give this to friends, family, and they get a 5% discount on all of our monitors, and the inspector gets a 10% commission, which is paid monthly on everything sold. You don't have to carry any inventory. There's no investments. We drop ship it to your client. So we have a lot of inspectors around the country who have signed up for this, and they are selling it. A lot of our inspectors are also selling these to real estate. They have found the real estate agents and brokers themselves are using these. When they first go into a home, they want to see if there's a high radon level, because radon tests and radon has become much more of an issue, especially in like the top 25 or 30 radon states, of which Illinois is definitely one. So anybody you sell these to, you give your referral code number to, they get a 5% discount, you get a 10% commission. So that has been a very successful program, and I can send you information on that. You can actually sign up for that on the website. So just another way. It's not going to be a huge revenue stream, but it's a customer service. It helps kind of build a relationship with clients, and of course, if you build that relationship, you're going to get referrals, which is a key to any business. And I know from talking to inspectors, referrals is a huge way that you're getting more business. So, Charlie, I think we've covered pretty much everything on the Pro. We went through the features and benefits. Just really kind of just to finally kind of summarize why EcoSense. We've got industry-leading radon detection performance, top-rated consumer monitors for the long-term continuous monitoring, strong customer service and tech support. We're solely dedicated to radon and radon only, and we're a technology-driven company, which, as you mentioned before, are always changing and always upgrading the products. So we're in it for the long haul, and we appreciate that you're giving us the opportunity here, Charlie, to talk about what we're doing and to get in front of your group. So if you have any questions, usually we'll open it up to the floor, but you're the floor today. So because of that, if anybody wants to reach out to me, I should have put my number on there. If you could share that information, Charlie, my email and my phone number.
Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to put this up on our YouTube channel. So that's going to be there. It's also then going to be put into our Facebook group. And underneath there, we're going to have links to your companies. So if you're listening to this now, look down below. And you're going to see Marc's phone number, links to their ordering system that's on there. And that's also going to be on our Facebook group as well. Marc is in our Facebook group for our state association. So any questions you have about the machines, the radon, buying, whatever, ask them. That's one of the main reasons why they're here for us. They're going to be our resident professionals, and that's basically what we want. So I'm just going to say thank you. Thank you
Well,
for
thank
helping
you. I
us. Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for going through all this. And yeah, I'm impressed. You got a pretty nice product here. So
Well, we appreciate it. And any feedback we can get from you, or as I said, any of your members, we're open to it. You know, product suggestions, feature suggestions, let us know. All right.
sounds good. All right. Thank you, Mark.
Charlie.
And thank you,
Appreciate it.
EcoSense.
Okay.
And we're going to
All right.
go ahead and end this now. So.
Thank you.